and welcome to Inside SoCal. You might think of flying kites as a sweet childhood or adult pastime, but for Clockshop and the artists you'll meet today, flying kites means so much more.
With kites, we usually associate play and leisure activity, but I learned that there's a lot of history about military and also about resilience and resistance using kites. In Korea, they used kites to send signals. While they're on the sea, for example, the kites would have very concise and very color-coded designs that are sent to the sky to be seen by the people on the other side. And then they would communicate things like a retreat at sundown or attack from the east, things like that.
And kites are still used to communicate. Here in Los Angeles, the Clockshop organization connects artists and policymakers to protect public land through events like a kite festival.
It's the Community and Unity People's Kite Festival. It really speaks to how we at Clockshop believe that public space should really function, public green space as a place for community and for people to really come together. Public parks are not a given. That land was destined to be warehouses at a certain point in time, and it really was through the efforts of the communities surrounding it, fighting for that space to remain public space, that it exists today.
Each year, Clockshop commissions an artist to design a kite focusing around the history of the land of that park.
When Clockshop reached out to me, we were talking about how do we really honor the layered stories that are embedded in the LA State Historic Park site. And so, of course, we have to go back to the Tongva tribe, the original caretakers of this land. And so we have a reed key at the bottom. That's a Tongva house.
Okay, it's a house.
Yeah, this message along the middle, it's kind of unabashedly an advocacy and protest kite as well, calling people in to protect public lands and to not take for granted these incredible open park spaces that we have throughout LA that are under threat, that not only neighborhoods can be gentrified, but also the skies can be gentrified too.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
Since you're this year's designer, can you give us a little insight into what people can expect with your design of the official kite?
I gathered some of the local native plants from the watershed at the park and used those plants to make a print. And I included some text on it, and the text says, "Land is kin." When we care for the land and when we fight for the land, it shows our deep love for each other.
Once the kites are designed, artist Stevie Choi steps in to fabricate and wind test the kites. She worked with Korean Kite Masters to excel in her craft, preserving the tradition and passing it on to the next generation.
So I reached out to Kite Masters in Korea through online community, some much older than myself.
Were they surprised that a young student was interested in their craft?
Definitely. They were taken aback by my gender and my age, and they were kind enough to share their resources and knowledge. And that's sort of how I actually got into the technical aspect of making kites.
Using kites as a medium feels really magical, and that brings me back to my childhood and all the joy that I felt from that.
At this year's Kite Festival on May 13th, you'll not only get to see the original kite design in person, but there's also a lot of fun planned.
We'll have Kite Masters there who will be able to demonstrate, complex, large-scale kites as well as new kite flying techniques. And of course, there'll be lots of great music and great food. People are definitely encouraged to make a kite, to bring a kite. We love to see it when people bring their homemade kites and show their own creativity.
Never at an art event do you see so many people smiling.
Oh, I love that.
It's just everyone's beaming and looking up and just having an endorphin rush when they're at the Kite Festival.
Don't miss out on the fun. The Kite Festival is May 13th at the Los Angeles State Historic Park. I'm Erica Olsen. See you next Sunday. Woohoo!
Inside SoCal is presented by Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness.